You don't have an anger problem. You have an old code. You react too fast. You say too much. You regret it later. Then you call it being emotional, or worse, just who I am. But here's the truth. You're not reacting from the moment. You're reacting from memory, not conscious memory, coded memory. A loop. Someone pushes your button, and before you even think, your nervous system answers for you. Because it's not you speaking. It's a version of you from 10 years ago, still running unchecked. You weren't born reactive. You were programmed by stress, by family, by the survival patterns you never updated. And now, that code is making decisions in real time, without your consent. You say, I can't help it. But the truth is, you never rewrote the code that still reacts for you. This isn't about anger, or emotion, or personality. It's about structure. It's about ownership. It's about time. You don't need more self-control. You need a cleaner code. You're not choosing your reactions. Your system is. You think you chose that outburst, that sharp tone, that shutdown. You didn't. By the time your conscious mind catches up, the reaction has already happened. The breath shortens. The muscle tightens. The words launch. Not because you decided, but because your nervous system recognized a pattern and ran the code. It didn't ask if the reaction is useful. It asked, have we felt this before? And if the answer is yes, the loop takes over. This isn't a personality flaw. It's automation. It's neuropatterning. It's survival memory pretending to be identity. That's why you regret it afterward. Why you replay it. Why you say, I don't know why I reacted like that. That wasn't you. That was the code. It was trained by chaos, by defense, by repetition. The more you react a certain way, the faster your brain turns it into default. Anger at criticism. Shame after rejection. Defensiveness in silence. It's not about the trigger. It's about how deeply embedded the reaction has become. And when that happens, it doesn't matter how smart you are, or how much you know better. If the system is faster than your awareness, you'll always lose the moment. That's why self-awareness isn't enough. You need system awareness, not just, why did I do that? But, what code just ran without permission? Because you're not broken. You're just out of sync with the machinery you never reprogrammed. Your nervous system is fast, but it doesn't have to stay in charge. Fast reactions feel powerful, but they always leak control. The faster you react, the less you see. Because reactivity is speed without clarity, movement without direction, noise without structure. You think snapping back shows strength. You think saying it first gives you control. You think being real means being immediate. But here's what actually happens. You move fast. You lose frame. You regret later. And then what? You apologize. You over-explain. You overcorrect. Not because you're weak, but because you moved before the system stabilized. This is the loop. Trigger. Reaction. Consequence. Shame. Repetition. You say, I'll do better next time. But the loop doesn't care, because it doesn't ask for your permission. It just runs. Every time you react without observing, you reinforce the loop. You deepen the code. You tell your system, this is how we survive, even when it's ruining you. Because the goal of your nervous system isn't excellence, it's efficiency. And what's repeated becomes automatic, even if it's destructive. That's why fast reactions feel familiar. They feel natural. But natural doesn't mean optimal. It just means you've done it enough to not notice. Cold mind breaks that illusion. It slows the signal. It separates the surge from the choice. It forces pause so the moment doesn't decide for you. Because when you pause, you move from survival to structure. You go from "I had to" "I chose to." And that shift is everything. Every fast reaction is a moment you gave away. Pause and take it back. Cold rewire, 3 steps to take back control. Before the reaction hits, you don't need to fight your reactions. You need to recode the system before they happen. Cold mind doesn't suppress, it rewires. Here's how. 1. Observe the surge. Every reaction starts with a signal. The heartbeat quickens, the breath changes, the tone shifts. Most people skip this. They jump straight into doing. But cold mind trains pause. You feel the surge, and instead of obeying, you name it. Pressure, pride, panic. No judgment, just recognition. Because what you name, you no longer submit to. This is the first crack in the loop. 2. Interrupt the code. Now that you've spotted it, you break its rhythm. You ask, is this mine, or is this a replay? That question is everything. It creates distance between what's happening and what's automatic. Because most reactions aren't yours. They're echoes. Remnants of earlier versions of you who didn't know how to pause. This question slices the loop. It tells your nervous system, we're not running this script anymore. 3. Replace with precision. Remove the pattern, and habit fills the gap. So cold mind installs structure, a pre-coded alternative. You don't just stay calm. You replace the reaction with a response. Short, clean, centered. Instead of defending, you hold the pause. Instead of raising your voice, you lower your tone. Instead of matching energy, you reset it. Not to look strong, but to stay unshakable. This is where power lives. Not in silence for silence's sake, but in structure you chose before the pressure came. You don't rewire by wishing. You rewire by replacing. And repetition turns it into your new default. Not reaction. Response. Power isn't in what you suppress. It's in what you've already prepared to run. He didn't get triggered. He ran the code. They came at him fast. Accusations, interruptions, passive-aggressive comments. The room was watching, waiting for him to slip, to snap, to justify himself. He didn't. No panic, no defensiveness. No, let me explain. He just paused, took one breath, and scanned the moment. That was step 1. Observe the surge. He noticed the signal, the rising tension, the pressure to react, and labeled it. Pressure. Old loop. Don't move yet. Then came step 2. Interrupt the code. Instead of asking, how do I prove myself, he asked, is this mine? Or is this a bait I used to fall for? That question changed the game. It broke the emotional rhythm they were trying to create. It bought him silence, and in that space, he regained structure. Then came step 3, replace with precision. He didn't lash out, didn't debate, didn't try to fix the image. He responded with one sentence, clean, controlled, no excess. I hear you. Let's move forward. Nothing more, no leak, no need. And the energy in the room shifted. They didn't expect calm. They didn't prepare for structure. They were set up for drama, and got architecture instead. He didn't win with dominance. He won with design. Because cold mind isn't about overpowering chaos. It's about becoming unavailable for it. He didn't rise to their level. He stayed inside the system he built and made them adjust. Final message. Your reactions aren't the problem. The system running them is. You're not failing because you feel too much. You're failing because you move before you decide. Your system is faster than your awareness, and that speed is what's leaking your power. It's not the reaction that ruins you. It's the fact that you didn't choose it. Cold mind doesn't ask you to suppress. It asks you to observe, interrupt, replace. Not once, not perfectly, but repeatedly, until the system obeys you. Because structure always beats emotion, and what you install will run faster than what you try to remember. Don't try to improve reaction. Replace the system that demands it. So the next time you feel the surge, don't fight it. Name it. Pause. Insert the code you built, not the one you inherited. That's how you take control. Not in the moment, but before the moment. You were never undisciplined. You were just never taught how to replace the old system with a new one. Now you see the system, and from this point on, so does it. In the next video, we'll break down the cold mirror, how to reflect pressure, emotion, and manipulation without absorbing any of it. Subscribe. Reactions don't need refinement, they need replacement.